Okay, guys, welcome back. We are in lesson 5 of unit 5, and what we're going to be doing today is dividing polynomials by long division. So first, and we're on page 19, we have to do a warm-up without a calculator. This is going old school elementary division. So remember, this is 2,490 divided by 2. You start with the first term. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Then you go back and multiply 1 times 2. Put it here is 2 and subtract. And the next number comes down. Then 4 divided by 2 is 2. Go back and multiply 2 times 2 to get 4 and subtract that. It's nothing. Bring down the next digit 9. 2 goes into 9, not evenly, but it goes in 4 times to make 8. So 4 times 2 is 8. And then 9 minus 8, bring down a 1 and bring down your last digit, which is the 0. Then 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10, and we don't have a remainder. So our answer is 1,245. Next, 7 doesn't go into 6, so we got to look at it as 7 into 65. It goes in 9 times to make 63 after we multiply. We subtract to bring down a 2, bring down the next digit to make 21. 21 divided by 7 is 3. Then 3 times 7 is 21. Subtract to get 0. So your answer is 93, no remainder again. Number 4, 4 does not go into 3, but it can go into 38 9 times to make 36. So subtract, bring down your 2, bring down your next digit. 4 goes into 25 6 times to make 24. 6 times 4, 24. Subtract, bring down the last digit 4 to make 14. 4 goes into 14 how many times? 3. Then 3 times 4 is 12. Then you can subtract. Since there's no more digits, we get a remainder here. So the remainder is 2. And by the way, if you wanted to put that into a fraction, it would be 963 and 2 over 4, which would be, reduce that, 963 and a half. You put the remainder as your numerator. Okay, so we're going to take that concept and apply it to dividing polynomials. We got to make sure that we're in standard form, okay, of course. Anything, if we're missing any terms, we're going to add terms with a 0 in front if you're missing any middle terms. For example, if I have x squared plus 5, it would be missing the x term in the middle, so you would put 1x squared plus 0x plus 5. Actually, you don't need the 1 in front of the x. And then a remainder other than 0 means it would not be a factor. Remember, factors are things that divide perfectly into it with no decimal or remainder. So example 1, we're going to divide it using long division. So we're going to set it up. We're going to put x plus 5 to the left. And we're going to see how it divides into. I don't have any missing terms here, so I don't need to worry about those zeros. All right, so here's the structure. Listen carefully. You start just like long division above in the warm-up. You have to do first term divided by first term. So you're thinking in your head this right here. What's 4x squared divided by x? That would be 4x. So you put that 4x anywhere up here. And then just like in the warm-up, you multiply 4, but you're going to multiply twice. You're going to multiply by 2 terms. We're never going to be dividing by that 5, but we will be using it when we go back and multiply. So 4x times x, 4x times 5, and then what you want to do, remember back in the warm-up, we would subtract each time, so that's what we got to do down here. We got to subtract. The first terms will always, add up to nothing or subtract to nothing. The second, bring it down after you subtract. And then what you want to do is you start the cycle over again. So you're going to take your first term, which is 3x, and divide it by your first term x, just like the first step. So think of this on the side. It may help to write it. So you would go, okay, those cancel, so that would be 3. So I put a 3 here. Don't leave an open space, put a plus. And then we're going to take the 3 and multiply it by x, and multiply it by the 5. And then we are going to subtract. First one's always cancel. And the second one, subtract, and we'll get negative 31. Now, there's no other terms to come down, so that means that that negative 31 is our remainder. So you can either write it like this if you want, and then this guy would be your answer. You would say your answer is 4x plus 3 with a remainder of negative 31, or a way of writing it with a fraction would be 4x plus 3, and then for the remainder, you can put plus negative 31 over x plus 5. That's the more formal way of writing it. Okay, let's get some more practice. I pretty much went through the routine and steps, so I'm just getting more practice from this point forward. I'm checking, do I need to tack on any zeros? Nope, I do not. There are no terms missing in the middle of the first and last terms. So I'm starting first term divided by first term. Remember, I'm just dividing by x each time here. So 3x to the second over x is 3x. And then we multiply 2 times. 3x times x, 3x times negative 7, and then we go to our subtraction step. So we subtract here, and now for the second one, pay careful attention because it shows minus. So if you're subtracting a negative, you're going to change it to a plus. So that cancels. That'll be negative 8x, and then bring down your last term. And then you're going to start the cycle again. First term divided by first term. So negative 8x divided by x, that would be minus 8. And then distribute negative 8 times x, and negative 8 times negative 7. And then we want to subtract, which is essentially just change the signs. That'll cancel. These add up to 0. So you do not have a remainder in this problem. Your answer is 3x minus 8. Oh, there were some follow-up questions here. Going back to letter A, is x plus 5 a factor of the trinomial? We're going to say no, and the reason is because we had a remainder. For letter B, is x minus 7 a factor of the trinomial? We're going to say yes, because there was no remainder. Or you can say a remainder of 0. Technically, it's no remainder. Okay, let's start the process again. There's no missing terms, so that's good. So I'm going to do first term divided by first term. That'll be 3x. Put that up here. And I'm going to go back and multiply my 2 times. That'll be 6x to the second plus 3x times 1 is 3x. And then we're going to do our subtraction. 7x minus 3x will be 4x. And then don't forget, bring down your next term. And then start the process again. First term, showing the 4x divided by 2x. And that'll be 2. So we'll put a plus 2. And then we're going to distribute that 2. 2 times 2x will be 4x. 2 times 1 will be 2. And then do our subtraction. And they'll get 0. Cancel and then 0. So our answer, we don't have a remainder. So 3x plus 2 is our answer. And if it were to ask, it doesn't have a follow-up question here, but if it were to ask, we would say, yeah, it's a factor. 2x plus 1 is a factor because there's no remainder. There's no missing terms here as I glanced at it. All right, so first term divided by first term. That'll be x. And then go back and multiply twice, x times x and x times 5. And then do your subtraction. Cancel here. This should be negative 8x. And bring down your next term. And start over again. First term divided by first term. The x's cancel, you'll have minus 8. And then multiply twice, negative 8 times x, and negative 8 times 5. And then when we say subtract, but there's minuses, we change the signs. These cancel, these add up to 0. We don't have a remainder again, so our answer is x minus 8. Letter E. Let me see how many more I got. Not too much. Letter E, setting it up. I glanced at it. There's no missing terms here, so no adding zeros needed. So first term divided by first term. That'll be 3x. Multiply twice. 2 times, so 3x times x, 3x times 4. Show your subtraction. Cancel. These subtract to get negative 5x. Bring down your next term. Start the cycle again. First term divided by first term. X's cancel, that'll be a minus 5. And then multiply twice. Negative 5 times x, negative 5 times 4, and then we are going to subtract, so we're going to change the signs, and that'll be 0. So we're done. There's no more terms left. There's your answer. No remainder. Okay, we have our first problem. I can see we're missing some terms here. We have x to the third, but we don't have an x to the second, and we don't have an x. And then finally minus 12. So we're missing some terms here. We had to throw in some zeros. So then we're going to start the cycle. Nope. First term divided by first term. That'll be x to the second. And then multiply our 2 times. X to the second times x. Negative 4 times x squared. And then we're going to subtract, which is change the signs. Bring down your next term. Start the cycle a second time. First term divided by first term. That'll be 4x. So put a plus 4x. And then multiply twice. 4x times x. And then negative 4 times 4x. And then subtract to change the signs, which turns into adding. And then bring down your next term and start the cycle again. First term divided by first term, the x's cancel. 16, so put a plus 16. Go back and multiply your 2 times. 16 times x, 16 times negative 4. And then subtract to change the signs, and that'll be 52. There's no more terms, so that 52 is a remainder, so you can put it like this, just remainder of 52. Just make sure that your remainder appears in your answer, or I would have to take off a point. All right, another one. First term divided by first term. That'll be 2x to the second. put it anywhere on top. And then multiply our 2 times. That'll be 2x times x, 2x squared times x. And then negative 4 times 2x squared. And then subtract to change the signs. These are make 5x. Bring down your next term. And start again. First term divided by first term. That'll be 5x. So put a plus 5x. Remember, we don't leave a blank space. And then multiply twice. 5x times x. And 5x times negative 4. And subtract to change the signs. That'll be 2x. Bring down your minus 8. And then another cycle. 2x divided by x. First term divided by first term. That would be 2. We're going to put a plus 2. And then multiply twice. 2 times x. 2 times negative 4. And then subtract to change the signs. And we got 0, nothing left over, no more terms, so we got a remainder of 0, which means we don't have a remainder. So x minus 4 is a factor, and there's my answer. Okay, I can stop there. If you need to watch again, just watch again, but letter H is just a little bit redundant. It's just more practice. So you guys should be good to go at this point. Like I said, stop into Zoom to ask me for help if you're not in the building, and watch this, pause, rewind, all right, and you'll be good.